I'm going to try to address your questions the way that I understand them from your email. It looks like the first email you sent me dealt with 4.4, and I think that what you're asking me in 4.4 is related to the questions about finding polynomials with the given zeros. And so in your email, you gave the example of x plus 1 times x minus 2 times x plus 9. So what this question would actually say is, it would say, given a 0 of -1, 2, and -9, find the polynomial function that they came from. Okay, and the way it's worded in the book is find a polynomial function with those numbers as its zeros. And so you're correct in going backwards with the signs to get the factors. That's what this is called. These are the factors of those zeros. And these zeros represent where that polynomial crosses the x-axis. So you do go backwards with the signs. And what I do is I do 2 at a time. So I would take the first 2 and I would multiply them. Now, I don't know what your background is, but the way that I learned to multiply things is I put them up and down, because that's how I learned how to do numbers. And I would just do this one times this one. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is 1x. And then I would start with this one, and I would do minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. And so now they're stacked so that I can add them. So that's with the first 2, and then I would pull my third one, which was x plus 9, and I would put it under it and multiply it. So I would do x times x squared is x cubed. X times minus x is minus x squared. X times minus 2 is minus 2x. And then I would do the 9. 9 times x squared is 9x squared. 9 times minus x is minus 9x. And 9 times minus 2 is minus 18. And then this would be a polynomial that those zeros came through. And the way you can check it is you can, let me open up a browser, and what you want to do is go to Desmos. So I'm going to go here to Desmos, and I'm going to graph the one that I got. So we got f of x equals x cubed plus 8x squared. Let's see what the rest of it was. Let me pull this down so I can see it. Minus 11x minus 18. And what we're looking for is where this crosses the x-axis, and we know that the zeros are supposed to be, what do we say from here? Minus 1, 2, and minus 9. So let's look at it and see. I'll pull this up and look. There's minus 1, there's 2, there's minus 9. So the one that I got is the one that is actually supposed to be the answer. So that's how you can check it. Now, in relation to your other question, you sent me, let's find it again. You sent me an Ask My Instructor. Let's see if I can find it. My email here. Oh yeah. And it was from section 4.3. And it was a question that was just like the video that I did in the lesson. And what this one says is factor the polynomial. And you guys are used to traditional factoring, but traditional factoring doesn't work on these. So this is the question that you sent me, and I'm going to throw it into my Desmos. So it was x to the 4th minus 5x cubed minus 9x squared plus 81x minus 108. Okay, now what you're doing is you're looking at the calculator and you're trying to find a zero that you can use. And I see 2 here. I see a -4 and I see a 3. Now, according to your graph, since it has a 4 in the front, there should be 4 zeros. There are only 2 that you see on the calculator, but you can use one of those to find the others. So let's just pull up another piece of paper here. So let's go up here to the top, and we've got the -4 was one of them that we could use because that's what we saw on our calculator. So I'm going to take my -4, oops, got something wacky going on with my ink here. My -4 I don't know why it's highlighting. Let's try that again. Let's just get out of this and start over. Okay. Now we got it. I'm going to take my -4 and do, still highlighting. Well, I'll have to fix that later. I hope you can see it like it's supposed to be. Take your -4 and there, that's better. Take your -4 and do synthetic division with your original function. Now that just means take all of the coefficients and what you're doing is you're confirming that this is a 0, which we already know because we've looked at the calculator, but this is also going to break it down into something else that you can use. So -9 times -4 is 36. 16 minus 9 is 7, so this would be 27. Nope, let's see. And then 27 times 4 is -108. And -108 plus 81 is -27. -27 times -4 is +108. So it is a 0 because it comes out to 0. Now we have a coefficient of 1, so 1x cubed. It always goes down from where you started. And I can take, either put this one in the graph and find another 0, or the one that you just put in had 2 zeros, so you can use the one you saw, the other one that you saw, and do synthetic division again. So your 27 minus your 18, that's 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So yes, it is a 0. Let's see what happens now when we come down. We go down one more. It started at 3, so this one goes down to x squared. Okay, if you're good at factoring, you can factor this. If you're not good at factoring, you're going to put it in your quadratic formula. So let's see, this would be minus b, so minus 6 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2a. So 36 minus 36 is 0. So 6 plus 0 and 6 minus 0 is just 6. So this would be 6 over 2, which would be 3. And since we're adding 0 and subtracting 0, there would be 2 of those 3's. So what you have then is a 0 of 3, another 0 of 3. And if we had factored factors of 9 that give me 6, or 3 and 3, and to give me -6 would be -3 and -3. And if I set those equal to 0 and solve, I do get 3 and 3. So that's the 2 ways that you would have solved it. Now you go back and you say, okay, so I've done this one. So I've got 3, 3. I used a 3 that I got from my graph, so that's 3 of those 3's. I have the -4 that I had already pulled up. So those are my zeros. So if it asks you what are the zeros, those are the answers that you give. And sometimes it'll be listed like this. That simply means in math speak, find the zeros. If it says find the factors, then you go backwards. These are the factors. So this is it factored. So that's the factored version. So your question said factor the polynomial. This is it factored. These are the zeros. So if it said find the zeros, that's what you've got. If it says factor, that's what you've got. I really hope that that helped you. Let me know if you have other questions.